Have you ever caught yourself saying, maybe it really is my fault, maybe I am too sensitive, maybe I am going crazy? Have you ever walked away from an argument feeling confused instead of clear, guilty instead of heard, apologizing for things you didn't even do, just to keep the peace? Or sat alone after a fight thinking, I remember it differently, but they sound so sure. Maybe I can't trust my own memory anymore. If any of that feels familiar, this video is for you. Because that constant self-doubt, the fog in your mind, the way you keep turning against yourself. That's not just how relationships are. That is what gaslighting does to your brain, your heart, and your sense of who you are. And tonight, we are not going to talk about how to spot gaslighting. We are going to start something much harder, and much more important. We are going to talk about how to recover. This is Connect with Care. If you are ready to stop doubting your reality, reclaim your voice, and take your mind back from someone who twisted it, stay with me. If this resonates with you at any point, consider subscribing to Connect with Care, so you don't have to walk this road alone. Let's begin. Gaslighting is more than lying. It is a slow war on your inner compass. Maybe you heard things like, I never said that, you're imagining it. You're crazy, everyone knows how dramatic you are. Wow, can't you take a joke? That never happened, you always twist things. You're remembering wrong. You always remember wrong. At first, you might have pushed back. You knew what you heard. You knew what you saw. You knew how it made you feel. But over time, the pattern repeated. Every time you brought up a concern, the story got flipped. You became the problem. You became too much, too sensitive, unstable, overreacting. Little by little, your brain learned a new rule. Trust them. Do not trust yourself. That is the core wound of gaslighting. Not just that someone lied to you, but that they trained you to abandon yourself. Recovery means learning how to come back. Not to who you were before, because this changed you. But to someone wiser, kinder to yourself, and no longer available for that kind of harm. So here is your Gaslighting Recovery Roadmap. Take a breath. This is where the healing begins. Think of it as 4 stages. Naming what happened. Rebuilding inner reality. Reclaiming boundaries and voice. Relearning safe connection. You do not have to do them perfectly. You just have to keep walking. Let's start with the first stage, naming what happened. Gaslighting recovery begins when you stop using soft words for hard things. When you stop calling it confusing communication or misunderstandings or we just see things differently. And you start saying, they manipulated me. They denied reality to control me. They made me doubt my own mind. This is not about staying stuck in victimhood. This is about telling the truth. Imagine standing in front of a shattered mirror. For a long time, you kept saying, maybe the mirror is still fine. Maybe my eyes are broken. Naming gaslighting is like finally saying, no. The mirror was smashed on purpose. My eyes were trying their best. In this stage, your job is not to fix anything. Your job is to validate. To say to yourself, maybe for the very first time, I believe me. My feelings made sense. My confusion was a sign of manipulation, not stupidity. My brain was trying to survive in a hostile environment. If you need a simple sentence to anchor you, try this. I wasn't losing my mind. I was being gaslit. Say it out loud if you can. Write it down. Every time the old story whispers, you're overreacting, answer with the new one, no. I was treated in a way that made me doubt my sanity. That is not overreacting. That is trauma. The second stage is rebuilding inner reality. Gaslighting attacks your memory and perception. So part of recovery is teaching your brain, gently, that it is allowed to trust itself again. Imagine holding a compass that has been shaken so hard the needle just spins and spins. Recovery is learning to hold it steady again, until, slowly, the needle points back to you. One powerful tool here is reality notes. Think of them as emotional GPS checkpoints. When something upsetting happens, and you feel that familiar fog creeping in, you pause and record. What happened, in my words? What they said. What I felt in my body. What my first instinct was, before I started doubting it. You can do this in a private journal, a notes app, or even voice messages to yourself. Later, when the gaslighter says, "I never said that, you're making it up," you have a record. But more important than proving them wrong is this. You are slowly proving you right. You are building a bridge back to your own perception. Another tool is to ask grounded, safe people what they see. Not to let them decide for you, but to remind yourself that your radar still works. You might say to a trusted friend or therapist, "Here's what happened. Here's how I remember it. If I told you this happened to someone else, what would you think?" Again and again, survivors of gaslighting hear the same response. "That sounds really wrong and manipulative. That would upset me too. You're not crazy." Each time you hear that, it is like adding one brick back to the foundation of your mind. My mind wasn't broken. It was under pressure. My feelings have context. Rebuilding inner reality also means learning to listen to your body again. Gaslighting trains you to override your own physical signals. Your stomach dropped when they yelled at you. You told yourself you were being dramatic. Your chest tightened when they joked about something cruel. You told yourself to chill, it was just a joke. Your body knew long before your brain could admit it. Gaslighting recovery invites you to ask, what does my body do when I feel unsafe? Where do I feel it? Chest, throat, gut, hands. What does my body do when I feel genuinely safe? Your body is a witness that never lied to you. Let it testify. The third stage is reclaiming boundaries and voice. This is where many people get scared, because it is the opposite of what gaslighting taught you. Gaslighting said, "Don't speak up. Don't trust yourself. Don't set boundaries, just adapt harder." Recovery says, you are allowed to say no. You are allowed to say, "That's not how it happened." You are allowed to protect your mind. Reclaiming your voice may start very small. Not with the person who hurt you, but with safer people. Practicing statements like, "That doesn't match my experience. I see it differently. That comment hurts, and I'm not going to pretend it doesn't. I'm allowed to end this conversation if it starts to twist my words." You might shake when you say these at first. Your body might wait for the explosion that used to come after you dared to speak up. But every time the world does not end when you hold a boundary. Your nervous system learns a new story. It is possible to speak and still be safe. Sometimes, reclaiming boundaries means limiting contact or going completely no contact with the gaslighter. That can feel like losing a piece of your identity. They might be a partner, a parent, a boss, a friend you've known half your life. Leaving doesn't make it less real. But staying doesn't make it more loving. You are allowed to step away from anything that demands you abandon your own reality to stay. The fourth stage is relearning safe connection. Gaslighting can make you feel like you can never trust anyone again. You might think, what if the next person is lying too? What if I can't tell the difference? What if something about me attracts people who want to break me? This is where many survivors get stuck. So here is something important. Recovery is not only about getting away from unsafe people. It is also about learning how to recognize safe people. People who can disagree with you without making you feel insane. Can say, "I'm sorry, you're right, I did say that, instead of rewriting history. Can hold your feelings with curiosity instead of contempt. Can remember their own part in a situation without twisting your words. Safe people are not perfect. They still mess up. But when they hurt you, they do not try to convince you that the pain is imaginary. Relearning safe connection can start with one person. It might be a therapist, a support group, a close friend, a partner who is willing to learn. You do not have to trust them quickly. In fact, it is okay if you don't. What matters is that you notice. How do I feel when I'm around them? Smaller, or more myself? Confused, or clearer? Ashamed, or accepted? Your body will remember. Real connection feels like breathing easier. Like your shoulders dropping. Like being able to say, "This is what happened to me," without someone rushing in to erase your story. Now, if you're listening to all of this and thinking, "This sounds good in theory, but I'm still in it." Or, "I left, but I'm still haunted." Here is something you need to hear. You did not deserve what happened to you. You were not gaslit because you were weak. You were gaslit because someone chose, over and over, to protect their power more than your truth. Gaslighting is a behavior. It is theirs. The shame is not yours to carry. Your responsibility now is not to go back and fix who you were. It is to care for who you are today. And that begins with one choice. I will stop gaslighting myself. Gaslighting recovery is not only about what they did. It is about what you learn to do to yourself in their absence. Dismissing your own pain. Minimizing what you went through. Calling yourself dramatic for needing help. Saying, "It wasn't that bad," when your body knows it was. Every time that inner critic mimics their voice, you have an opportunity. You can ask, whose voice is this really? Do I want to keep talking to myself like this? You get to become the person who talks to you differently. Who says, "I believe you. Of course that hurt. You did your best with what you knew. You deserved safety and honesty, and you still do." That is how you start breaking the cycle from the inside. If this video is landing close to home, your heart might feel heavy right now. You might be remembering specific moments, specific sentences, specific nights that changed you. Take a breath. Put a gentle hand on your chest if you can. And just silently say, "I am allowed to heal from this. I am allowed to take myself seriously. I am allowed to rebuild." This is Connect with Care, and if you are still here, it means something in you is ready for that roadmap. So here is your simple, practical take-home version. Step 1, name it. Write one clear sentence about what happened. I was gaslit in this relationship, and it made me doubt my own reality. Step 2, record reality. For the next few weeks, when something feels off, write down what happened, what was said, and how your body felt, before you start doubting yourself. Step 3, borrow a safe mirror. Share one situation with a trusted, grounded person or therapist and ask, if this were happening to your friend, how would you see it? Step 4, practice one boundary sentence. Choose a simple line like, "That's not how I remember it." Or, "I'm not going to argue about my feelings." Use it once, with someone relatively safe, and notice that you survived. Step 5, stop repeating their voice. The next time you call yourself crazy, too sensitive, or dramatic, pause and ask, who said that to me first? Then answer yourself with something kinder and more true. You do not have to do all of this today. But you can start today. Right now. If this roadmap helped you feel seen, please let it be a two-way conversation. In the comments, if you feel safe, you can write, "I'm taking my reality back." No details, unless you want to share. Just that sentence. So anyone scrolling through will know they are not the only one. And if you want more content that treats your mind and heart with respect, and helps you heal your relationships without gaslighting yourself in the process, please like this video and subscribe to Connect with Care. This channel exists so you don't have to untangle all of this alone. Gaslighting tried to convince you that your memories were broken, your feelings were wrong, and your truth didn't matter. But you are still here. Still asking questions. Still searching for clarity. That means something inside you survived. Something quiet. Something stubborn. Something that refused to give your reality away forever. That part of you is not crazy. That part of you is wise. Listen to it. Protect it. Let it lead you forward. You are not the person they told you that you were. You are the person who is brave enough to say, "This happened to me. I see it now. And I choose, from this moment on, to connect with care. Especially when I am connecting with myself." Thank you for being here. Take care of your mind. Take care of your heart. And remember, your reality is not up for debate.